are the eternal thing that comes and goes, and that furthermore this galaxy is a function of all other galaxies. And that vast thing that you see far off from telescopes, and you look and look and look, one day you're going to wake up and say, why, that's me. And in knowing that, know, you see that you never die.
So, task number 5. Gaijin told us, if you want to complete this task, you're gonna have to go out there and get 50 ground target kills in arcade battles with Brit planes. How much more specific is it gonna get? Are they gonna start telling us exactly which fingers to use on the keyboard? Or what kind of input we need to use? No, you can't use a joystick, you can't use a mouse or a keyboard. You've got to use your twitch reflexes on your cheek, and it has to be picked up from a computer. It's just gonna become, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous how it's just getting more and more specific. But I think over the course of 3 weeks they really want to try and hit up these different sort of events, make things different factions, different targets to go for and whatnot. So can you believe it? Krebsy here is bombing. This is I have a feeling, I was going to say that this is probably the first and last time you're going to see me bomb, but I have a feeling that this probably won't be the last time you'll see me bomb, and that's because chances are they're going to do the exact same thing, as in kill 50 ground targets or whatever it might be, with a different faction. So whether that be the Germans, the Russians, the Americans, or the Japanese, they'll probably mix it up like that sooner or later. So chances are you might see more footage of me killing stuff on the ground. It's not the most exciting thing to do, and admittedly I was kind of happy as soon as I was done this event to stop bombing. I'm just not the biggest fan. I'd rather just kill planes. It's my preference. So lo and behold, here's Krebsy and bringing out some tier 8s. I brought out a maximum of tier 8s this round. Actually, maximum tier 9s, I think, because the way that the brackets work in matchmaking is it's tier 8, 9, starts off with an even number and ends with an odd number. 8, 9, so it'd make most sense if I brought out my tier 9 planes as well. And lo and behold, I've got 3 bombers loaded out. I've got my Wellington Mark III that I'm using right now. And the funny thing is actually when I loaded out these bombers, I was like, oh, whoa. I don't have any upgrades on these planes. They're pretty much stock. Just goes to show how much I love bombing in this game. I just don't do it at all. But I guess an additional 50 ground target kills is not that bad. So the reason why I chose this replay today was because I guess it's pretty good, because it goes to show that you can get a decent number of ground target kills and also a decent number of air target kills as well. What I was doing was I went out with my Wellington Mark III first, because I had it upgraded so much that rather than having the stock bomb bay, I was able to bring out the upgraded bomb bay, and that allows me to use 18 250 kilo or is it 250 pound bombs, I can't remember, and 18 of them rather than the stock 10. So that's why I'm using this one. And it's pretty good. You know, when you're trying to destroy medium tanks and whatnot, if you get a direct hit on a medium tank, you'll kill it. And everything else, you pretty much destroy it from splash damage. You can get it just around. And directly on top will definitely kill it, whatnot. I'm not sure about heavy tanks. I haven't come across heavy tanks. Just medium tanks maximum. But here's me going out, getting some kills and some ground targets. And of course being picked on by some other guys. I don't think that was actually him that killed me. I think that was I mean, it says that he killed me, but I think it was actually the bomb blast that did majority of the damage to me there. So, yeah, that's me gone. Now, this is what I'm doing. I go out with my first plane as a bomber. I get as many kills as I possibly can in my bomber. Ground target kills. And then I jump out into my normal fighters and whatnot, and I just go for air targets. I don't focus on ground targets anymore. And the reason is because it's very easy pickings to go for ground targets in the beginning and early middle of the match. Just mostly in the beginning of a match. Because there are tank columns, there are armored vehicle columns, everything is just fresh. There's the highest density of ground targets, and so that's when I like to bomb. I just get it out of the way with, kill as many as I can, and as soon as I'm dead, then I go out killing air targets with my normal fighters, heavy fighters, attackers, and whatnot. I don't continue bombing ground targets just because there's not going to be that many left. I mean, look at this. I'm onto my second plane, and over half of the enemy targets are destroyed. So it's like, I'd sort of be struggling. I'd be fighting to get those last ground targets, and they might be difficult to reach sometimes. You know, they might be heavily defended because people inevitably will become aware that our points are ticking down. We need to defend them with our lives. And it'll become harder and harder just to get a kill. The cost benefit, the benefit risk ratio becomes of greater risk for your cost benefit, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So Bullfighter. I love this plane. It's just I'm pretty sure I've near enough maxed it out. I can't remember if it was my 6C or if it was my Mark 10 that's maxed out. But when I started playing this again, I just got reminded how great the plane is, how powerful it is. It just makes you almost feel like you're a flying bully. Just the way that you can speed on down into targets, the way that every other plane is smaller than you. It's just like you sort of feel like, especially when you're competing for a kill with your teammates, it just sort of feels like, hey, get out of the way, here comes the big boy with the big guns. Coming in so fast. Big ass plane, 4 Hispano cannons. Usually you end up getting the kills majority of the time when you're using the Bullfighter. So it definitely gives me the impression and the feeling that I'm like a bully on the battlefield in the sky. And it definitely is. You can finish off targets so easily. Now, the one thing that I've actually noticed with this plane, you know, I talk about it so highly in just about every regard, you know, the weaponry, defensive capabilities, and whatnot. The only thing that I have a pickle to take on with this plane, and the only downside, is the fact that you can be pilot sniped very easily. What? How, Krebs? I get pilot sniped out of every plane easily. What do you mean? I've got maxed cruise, max vitality cruise. I don't have max cruise, that's a lie. I have max vitality on every crew. And it's one of the only planes that I get pilot sniped out of. Now, if you suffer from getting pilot sniped in various planes, increase that vitality. That will keep your guys alive. And trust me, getting to 100 will severely reduce the number of pilot kills that you will suffer. But look at that! For example, that's a pilot snipe. This is the one problem with the Bullfighter. And the one Achilles heel that it has. In head-ons, it's always scary to take on Bullfighters in head-ons because of how powerful they are, and I would never recommend it. But a lot of times I have been sniped out of my cockpit because look at how the cockpit's placed. It's right on the near enough on the edge of the nose of the plane, and so it's easy access to kill that pilot. It's just one pilot. It's not like 2 or anything. It's just one guy in there, sitting right at the front. It's easy to take him out, and I've had so many pilot snipes on the Bullfighter today. More pilot snipes than I would ever have had in a week, all in the space of like a day near enough. So, one Achilles heel for this plane. Maybe if you can, try to hit it from the side. If you have access to the cockpit, go for that. So anyway, that was my 6C down. The 6C, in my opinion, is a better version than the Mark 10. Mark 10 has extra weapons on it, but it's slower, doesn't turn as fast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I prefer the 6C because it's just more maneuverable, and it's the Hispanos that do the majority of the damage, not the, I think, 12.7 millimeter rounds that the Mark 10 has. It's all in that turning capability with the 6C. I prefer it, so that's why I'm going out with this one after my 6C. But look at it go, it's still a bully of the sky. I'm gonna go on with some head-ons here. Yak 1, come on, you want a piece? You want a piece? I don't have my cannons! Look! Oh no! Point B proven, Krebs. Point B proven. I told you guys that... I told you guys that the Achilles heel is pilot snipes. So if you ever notice that you're taking on a bullfighter and he's not firing cannons at you, he might be reloading, just kill his pilot. Just kill his pilot. So anyway, I'm going out with my, I think, Spitfire 5B, I think this is. Good plane, good Spitfire. However, I think that the one problem that it has is that it has trouble... How can I put it? Is it trouble rolling when it starts getting to high speeds? I think that's what it is. It has really good turn times no matter what the speed, but I think it has trouble rolling at high speeds. It just sort of feels like it's going through some sort of compressibility. It just can't really roll. That's my one problem with this plane. Otherwise, it's great, very powerful. Turns on a dime, and yeah, you can make some really good work out of it. So I've got a number of kills so far, and a number of ground targets as well. And I guess it goes to show that it's always good to be versatile in the skies. Killing ground targets, killing air targets. Don't be like Krebs. Don't be like Krebs where I always ignore ground targets. Be versatile. Know when your team needs you. But to be fair, I don't kill ground targets because I want the games to last as long as possible so I can get as many air target kills, because you get a lot of points from air target kills. You get way more than killing ground targets. Okay, so I've flown across the map now. I'm gonna try to come help my teammates. Here's some help for you, teammate. They were actually having like a dogfight here. My team, actually there's two teammates and this one enemy. They're having like a dogfight here for quite a while. It was going on for like a minute and a half or so. And I was just like, okay, God's sake, I'm just gonna fly over there and I'll settle this once and for all. So he's taking a lot of damage. Everyone's saved on our team anyway. And happy days! Now, I don't have much of an engine left. I'm turning dark red, so I'm just gonna give up. Go for a soft landing. And hop on into one other plane. I see that there's not that many ground targets left. The points are almost gone. So what's the point of me just, you know, eventually my engine's gonna turn to black. And I'm just gonna be hovering. I don't want to waste time. I might as well just get some soft landing. Get some points for that landing. Oh, God's sake, that wasn't even a soft landing, Krebs. That was a crash landing. But look how scenic it is. It looks so beautiful. So beautiful indeed. I think that was my 5B, or maybe that was my 2B. I can't remember. Anyway, guys, so that's the points that I got. I hope you enjoyed this task in this video. Until the next one, this is Krebsy, and I'll catch you all later.